Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Breaking news, Tisa, shout out to Tisa. Tisa Tells has ran out the courtroom and brought us some breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Oh, Tisa's bringing us some breaking news. I got it in my other ear. Looks like Diddy Nim has been plotting. If it ain't Diddy plotting, it's Rkelly plotting. I think the worst thing could have happened was Trump saying that he will pardon if somebody's being mistreated. Ever since then, the acting, the shenanigans, they've been putting the show on the road. I mean, they've been putting the show on the road, baby. You hear me? Ever since then, Trump said, "Oh well, yeah, I'll look into it if I feel like someone's being mistreated. Yeah, I will." Well, hell, I don't know what Rkelly he been in there, and Trump ain't thought nothing. Man, do you know that do you not remember what you did? Why do these people do these crimes and then cry? You know, talk about being mistreated. Do you not realize that you mistreated people? I mean, do you really not expect to get your karma? What? What? Where they do that at? But let her tell you, and we're gonna talk about Rkelly and I think Brandon Paul is going on the witness stand today. I'm ready to hear that. But yeah, they leaking information. They are really, really, really trying to force a mistrial. Now they are leaking information. I mean, you don't have a defense. You really don't have a defense. There's no way that you can mount up against the evidence against you and say what? Oh, she wanted it? Yeah. I mean, most hookers who have been conditioned in their head, they go in and do their work. I mean, how long was these people with you? Oh yeah, and I don't know what y'all saw in him. He ain't cute, and he ain't got no pallywhacker. Oh, the money. Must be the money. Oh, it must be the money. What's a prime time? Must be the money. Must be the money. Yeah, must be. Come on, Tisa.
Just ran out of the courtroom. Okay, you guys, Diddy's team seems like they're in serious trouble. It looks like these games they may be allegedly playing have finally caught up with them. Judge Aaron was pissed. He just read them the riot act. He has promised a full investigation, trial by jury, seizing devices to find out who violated the court order and leaked sensitive information to a blog. Baby, this is not doxing a Jane Doe. This is something serious and information that only the prosecution and the defense should have known. You guys, this is crazy. On top of that, Diddy said that he's ending the trial early. Oh,
because he don't have no excuse.
On top of that,
he don't think he done nothing wrong.
Hasn't even started. You guys, listen, there was a lot of stuff going on outside in the line. I got here early. I thought it was weird that we were lining up, but the weird thing that actually happened was, we were brought into the court early at 8 o'clock. Court does usually not start until 8:30, 8:45 when the judge starts taking questions. So we already knew something was up, but we thought it was about juror number 7. We thought it was about juror number 7 because the judge was supposed to rule on it today. More on that later. But no, he came in and sat down, and it was like a gust of legal wrath had snuck down. Y'all, if the rumors are true, and this is Diddy's team, it looks like they might have started going too far, and maybe this mistrial might be
the people who coming in, hit the like button, tap the screen.
For me to set up my tripod, because oh my God, when I tell y'all I ran out of the courtroom, I'm still here. When I tell y'all I ran out of the courtroom to bring y'all this tea, I ran out of the courtroom.
Bring us the tea.
My witness. Hold on. Let's get into this because I have to pull my notes out.
You 16 people that's in the bushes, double tap the screen, or double tap the screen, or go ahead and leave. Hit the like button. Double tap your phone. Double tap or leave. Those are your options, because I promise I'm not moving. The ones that just came in, double tap or hit the like button. Hi, Cynical One. Hello. Good morning.
For this, you guys, this is serious.
If you come in, double tap your screen.
This is serious.
Stop being rude and disrespectful.
Very
804 all day.
Now, to be fair, he did ask, hold on, let's see if we can get some green in. Okay, just so y'all know, I ain't in my mama's basement, right? To be fair, he did also asked the prosecution, Miss Comey, where did this come from? And Miss Comey was like, Judge, I think it's really what you just said. Like, there was only a handful of us in here. Okay, so if you guys don't know, right?
Happily enraged.
Remember that day, Friday?
Hit the like button,
really
please.
Late. Why? Because court's usually out by 5. They kicked everybody out the courtroom, and they had a private conversation between counsel. They kicked everybody out the courtroom, and they had a private conversation. A lot was discussed in that private conversation. No one was privy to it. It was sealed under court order. Nobody was supposed to know. And the only people in that room were the prosecution and was the defense. That was the only people in the courtroom. They talked for a good 30-40 minutes in super sealed. If you guys don't know, when judges seal, it's super serious. Okay, I'll get into why later, but just know it's super serious. There is no way that anybody from the media, let alone a blog, let alone an article, there's no way that anybody could have known what was sitting in that room outside of someone in the parties. Once again, it was a judge, it was a court reporter. The court reporter has been an Epstein, like, there's no reason that a member of the court would leak that. There's just no reason.
Right.
And that's what the judge said. I was just a court reporter. It was a judge, right? And it was court reporter, judge, and it was all the prosecution. You know what Mark Garagos referred to as a six-pack, a white woman that, by the way, is river dancing all over Diddy's Last Chance of Freedom, right? Hey, good morning. It's like literally like the and all of the defense team, okay? Mark Garagos, Tenny Garagos, Brian Still, Westmoreland, Xavier Donaldson, Shapiro, and then like Driscoll, I think that's his name, and a few other people that are on the defense team, and of course the whole prosecution.
Double tap your screen.
That were the only people there, and it was done in a sealed court. Not only did they kick us out, but they literally put the noise canceling thing on, locked both doors, it's double doors, and then told us to move down. So there's no way anybody could have known, anybody could have said anything. However, this evidence did in fact leak. The evidence did in fact leak. Let me pull my notes out to talk about it. Also, 2 things really quick, actually 3 things. Hold on. Really quick before I get into the story and then run back upstairs, because Brendan Paul is going to testify today too. Baby, this is the worst week ever for Diddy. And remember how people said that Diddy was going to have a parade of celebrities coming, this and that? Oh my God, what if this person testifies?
Can you go ahead and resubscribe and hit the top bell notification? I would greatly appreciate it.
Ain't nobody coming to hear you
NYC.
Because guess what? Diddy said that they expect their defense to run they expect their defense to run, and I gotta check
I have
notes.
no idea what's
The
happening.
general duration of the defense case that they're putting up is going to be 2 to 5 trial days.
Because they don't have no case.
Takes too long.
They don't have no excuse.
That means that they don't expect their defense to last more than a week, maybe a week and a half. That means that once the prosecution rests this week and the defense goes for next week, as early as the week after that, the jury is going to get their instructions. The jury is going to get their instructions. You guys, this is almost over. That's if Diddy's team is telling the truth. The judge did say, I'm not going to hold you to it, but I need to get a general sense. Micah Cook, thank you so much for that super chat. Lynn Stegman says, aren't you hot in that court? Do you? Lynn, have you checked the weather report? It is literally 68 degrees in New York City in the middle of summer. No, I ain't hot. Do you see everybody else? Do you see everybody else? Do you see everybody else? Do you see everybody else in their winter coats? Thank you. Check the weather report. Check the weather report. Okay? Anyway, listen. Check the weather report. I'm not sitting here out on the island by myself. Why are y'all worried about that? I'm bringing you. Lynn, focus. Okay? So listen. Let's get into this. First of all, girl, one, I have 3 things to say. One, we got merch. Listen, we have your Anna Diddy Did It t-shirts. Hurry up and get them, because we don't know how long this trial's gonna go. We have Tisa Tells merch, we have cups, we have mugs, we have tank tops, and the merch is gonna get better and better and better. Ralph Allen, thank you so much for the super chat, all right? I'm about to tell y'all what happened.
Hold on.
You've probably heard about Boxable's flagship product, the casino.
Robinson, excellence and local journalism award. I want you guys all to pray for Darla that she something bigger going on than the second juror, and this could actually be something, a mistrial, or at the very least somebody on Diddy's team, if there's an investigation, could end up with criminal charges for violating the court order, right? So the judge came in, right? And usually he comes in like, hi, everybody, hi. He's a fair judge. Baby, Judge Aaron came in like, literally like the Dark Lord Voldemort. He came in like the Dark Lord Voldemort. Robe was glowing. And I said, oh my God, he's coming in hot, which is so unlike him. Literally came to the thing.
No, that's how I have it.
Please
What do you mean?
receive it.
It's not stuttering. What do you mean?
Okay, right? Sat down. You know me, I always think I'm in trouble. And I'm like, oh, yikes. Is this it? Are they gonna, I always think I'm about to get kicked out of the courtroom, even though I have no reason to be kicked out. But you know me, I always think, right? They say that's something called ADHD people. We always think we're in trouble, even though we're not, because our whole lives we've been in trouble because we're always jumping all over the place, right? Lynette Holmes, thank you so much for the super chat, all right? So he said, listen, there was an article that came out yesterday, and the contents of that article, no one knew about,
good.
Right? No one should have known about it. It was a sealed courtroom. It was a closed courtroom. And it was a sealed order that none of the parties in that room could talk about it. So how did an article just come out last night about the article? Now, here's the thing. Y'all know I went to every news site before I went on live because I was like, what? News article? What? I literally was like, what's going on?
What was
I went to
leaked?
bed at 8 o'clock last night, so I thought I missed something, but nobody knew the article he was talking about. But get this, the prosecution and the defense both knew what article he was talking about. And he literally said to Miss Comey, has anybody from your team talked to anybody? Release, blah, blah, blah. No, Your Honor, we haven't. Mr. Agnafilio, because basically he was also implying that the prosecution has no reason to leak information. That goes against the purpose. It goes against the game. They are the dealer. They don't have to leak information. Just like they found out that CNN video, the prosecution didn't leak it. What happened was one of the security men that had taken a video were the one that sold that CNN, the video to CNN of Cassie being whatever. Anyway, he went to market. Mr. Agnafilio, did anybody from your team, blah, 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 Mark got up, no, Your Honor, I don't think so. And I said, Mark, stop with the whole golly shit. This is not the time to be mumbling and stuttering in front of the judge. You look guilty. The judge looked at them and he said, well, someone's lying. But when he said that, he was looking at Mark Agnifilo because the underrepresentation is the government doesn't have a reason to leak. The defense has been fighting for mistrials. And also, whatever the information was, Judge Aaron was implying, okay, that leak came from, only helped the defense. That's another reason he was looking at the thing like, why would the prosecution leak this, right? He said, well, obviously someone is lying. He said, and Mark Agnifilo was just like, literally acting real nervous, right? He said the court was closed. The transcript was closed, right? Someone present for the court sealing violated a federal court order. And again, he was pissed. Judge Aaron does usually not have this much anger and wrath. And there was no type of there was no, it was like, y'all messed up now, right? He said, were you aware, Mr. Rkelly, were you aware during yesterday's proceedings, right, of the article? The government jumps up, Your Honor, we weren't aware. And that's what I said, you know they didn't leak, because they were low-key kind of enjoying it. Your Honor, we weren't aware, right? And he said, Mr. Agnifilo, were you aware during yesterday's proceedings that this article existed? And Mark Agnifilo was like,
I don't agree with that, Lisa.
Why are you taking so long to say yes or no answer if you don't have anything to do with this, right? And then he said, what? And listen, started questioning Mark Agnifilo. When did you become aware? I don't know, Your Honor. I can't say when we became aware. You can't say where you became aware of an article that violated a court order. You don't remember where you were when you did this? You don't remember where you were when you actually spilled the beans for what was going on? I said, somebody looking like they lying. No, he said, thank you for your reporting, Tisa. You're amazing. I don't know. It's like, you sure you don't know? Oh, listen. Tyrone Blackburn says, sounds like Natalie was leaking. Who's Natalie? Who's Natalie? Luis De Jesus, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Andrea Covington, thank you so. Oh, wait, Natalie, is that Diddy's PR? Does Diddy have PR? I know that, like, there's somebody in. Is that Diddy's PR?
Juicier, crispier, tastier. Try our new chicken sandwiches at Culver's.
Do you have old pictures on your PC or smartphone? Then this video is for you. This tiny device can save.
I don't think Diddy has PR on the ground right now. If they are, for the last few weeks, they've been doing a horrible effing job. Adrian Covington, thank you so much for the super chat. 413 Print and Press have been trying to do your merch. We'll bring you something next Friday when I come. Still adding to my site. 413. As soon as he said okay, I literally was running to the elevator like this, running in, doing this, fighting people to get to the elevator. I ran out the courtroom to tell y'all this tea. Anyway, right? He said, Mr. Agnifilo, you weren't aware. When did you become aware of this article, right? I'm not sure, Your Honor. That's like your mom asking you, when did you do that? I don't know. Oh, mofo, you know, right? So then he was like, the prosecution sent it to us. Marie called me, looked over her shoulder like, right? That's when we came aware. When the prosecution sent it to us, again, it sounded like guilt to me. Because you know how you try to pull somebody into it? No, them. When they told me, she literally was like, child, yes, literally, Marie called me his facial expressions, send me, like, what? Right? So Judge Aaron was just sitting there still looking so mad, like, no sign of anything, right? He said that is a violation of a court sealing order. And it is also, he started local rule 123. Under the local rules, it is a violation. And this is a violation after the defense made their own application to have everything sealed, because defense themselves were the ones saying that the government, that their attorneys, that everybody should be bounded down. This was a defense actually asking for it. And now there's a violation, a direct violation of it. And again, the way he was implying it is that this violation only helped Diddy's team. Tyrone Blackburn said, Natalie, aka Nat, is Diddler's PR. She is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so she would be dumb enough to leak. Who is this Nat person? I haven't seen that person. I don't think that Diddy has PR on the ground. It can't be. After what's happened and the way they've aligned themselves with every dirtbag in New York City to free Puff, the way they was handing out $20 t-shirts that got exposed, you cannot tell me that Diddy's had PR on the ground. You cannot tell me. Anyway, right? They've aligned themselves. Diddy's PR over the last 4 weeks has aligned themselves with every dirtbag in New York City, every dirtbag on the internet, every dirtbag outlet. Like, congratulations, king of the dirtbags. Anyway, he said, anyway, let's get back in the judge era. She said, defense's own application model. I said, in order? They said, in order? She said, my orders will be strictly adhered to in terms of anything, especially in violation. What has happened has civil and criminal consequences. The defense, you guys asked for this to be sealed because you wanted the case to be tried on the facts alone. And I was in the back saying, right? And also, they was looking really, really nervous. You guys were the ones that asked for this to be tried on the facts alone, right? And the fact that a federal court order, my court order, the fact that it was the commitment that we all agreed to and we all agreed to honor was violated. It was violated. Listen, he said, from now on, anything, from now on, we're not playing the whole, oh, golly shucks, I don't know. I'm paraphrasing it. He said, from now on, anything that comes from either of the sides, Miss Comey, you are put on notice. Anything that happens with prosecution, I don't care. You will be the one held responsible. And then he chose, but again, he was focusing on Diddy's team. Lisa Thomas said, real journalism. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Listen, the jurors weren't in the room when all this was happening. The jurors weren't in the room, right? Alyssa Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. And then he said, and Mr. Agnophilion, he's like, yes, Your Honor, acting guilty as a mug. Meanwhile, Maureen Comey is like, I actually think you should do that because he actually said,
Hi, Carrie from the UK. Hi.
Do what you need to do to get to the bottom of this. I am actually curious too. We do need an investigation, Your Honor. I think that is a great idea. Mel NYC Reviews. What's up? Mel said the judge pulled at Ayana and said, not on my watch. Exactly. The courthouse is shaking and rocking this morning. Baby, I'm so glad I got here early, but I'm always here early. But yes, shout out to you, Mel NYC Reviews. Listen, so he said, he said, Mr. Agnophilio, from now on, I'm not playing this little game of telephone. You are personally responsible.
They leak in their own information.
Anything that's signed,
Hi, Smiley, Smiley.
And anything that's leaked, you are personally responsible for this. Because you know how Diddy's team loves to be like, oh, I don't know. We have to check who did this, who's on first, right? Listen, he said, why is that? Because he literally said that he has the right, and he's looking into requesting a formal inquiry, right? Which will include a delivering of devices, people questioned under penalty of perjury, and the lead counsel is on notice that they are responsible for any violations that come down off of their team. Any violations. Any violations. Again, you guys weren't in the courtroom, and you didn't see the way everybody was squirming. And Maureen Comey was like, listen, you could tell who was innocent in this. Maureen Comey, hey, good morning, how are you? Maureen Comey was like, do what you have to do, Your Honor. Somebody, he said, Ms. Comey, do you have anything to say? She said, I agree, Your Honor. In your first assessment, somebody is lying, and I think we should get to the bottom of this. Ain't nothing better than when you see your ops or your adversaries get in trouble and you know it ain't got ish to do with you. She was like, I actually think this is a good... Your Honor, I think your first assessment was the right one. Somebody is in fact lying.
I love Maureen Comey. I'm sorry. She is my spirit animal. Okay, so get this, right? You guys, I am looking for the article. I think the article's already been pulled down, and they won't give us any clues as to what was said in the article. But the point is, the information that was laid out in the article is the only thing that could have come from a smoke room. The prosecution didn't do it, and even if you thought they did, the way Maureen Comey was like, no worry, no what, she was sitting there like, ain't got no worries. Listen, VYBZ Star said, just got on. Quick recap, please, Tisa girl. Okay, I'll give you a quick recap before we move on. Okay, the judge came in hot, all right? He came in like Lord Voldemort. His robes were blowing in the wind, okay? He sat down. He's usually so nice, so compassionate, so fair. Not today. He was on his bullshit.
Judge in the wind.
I wish one of y'all would. He literally said that there was a closed courtroom. And they kicked us out on Friday, and there was a closed courtroom for about 40 minutes. They discussed something. The only people there was the court reporter, the judge, and everybody from both sides of the legal counsel. That's it. It was put under seal. This seal was actually a court order that Diddy's team demanded. So the trial could be based off of facts. It leaked to a news outlet. They did not tell us the article. I scanned the big major news outlets. I didn't see anything, okay? And then the article could have gotten pulled down. Hey, what's up, Anthony? I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I'm here to check on you a little bit.
Oh, I'm doing good.
Your podcast. I mean, the polling thing. It was.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm on live right now, but definitely we'll talk. I'm going to do another one, okay?
See you later.
All right, see ya. Thank you. So anyway, where was I? Oh, delighting in the downfall of Diddy's team. Okay, so the judge was like, yo, this is so courtroom.
How's your mom?
Nobody should have did anything. One of y'all did it. The
No.
government is sitting there like,
No, she did not.
I don't know. You need to talk to them. It wasn't us. And Judge Aaron was heavily implying that it,
No,
it was
academics
like, the
leaked
court
the
would have
name.
no reason to do this. The government, whatever that article was, helped Diddy's team. And it was leaked. The judge seemed like he was implying that he thinks that they leaked the information. Miss Alsa, good morning, Tisa. I see you're already locked
Nope,
and unloaded and
she
about to
sure
go
did not.
check your merch out. Thank y'all. We do have merch, t-shirts and everything. Okay, so let me get to the end of the recap so we can continue with the story. He then went on to say, right? He then went on to say that Tamara Yoder said, Tisa, you're my spirit animal. You're amazing. Thank you for all you do. He then went on to say that this is a violation of a federal court order. He's looking into doing a formal inquiry where they literally, everybody has to turn on their devices. They literally do a digital investigation to see what messages were sent, who sent what, who was communicating to this thing. They're going to question the legal counsel at the printed fleet of
Academics
perjury,
leaked the video.
And is found out, the lead counsel is responsible for whoever
did the
it
video
under their
and leaked
team.
their name.
This can be, there is
56,
violating a
50 Cent leaked her name.
Criminal charges. It is a
So
big
she
deal.
did not leak
Mark
it.
Agnifilio couldn't even say when he's like, did you know about the article? No.
So
he
take
said,
that
"Did
up
you
with
know
50.
How this got leaked? No. Judge Aaron looked at them and said, so when did you find out about the article then? I don't know. I don't know what I thought of the article. Then they literally was like,
She would not be in court
when the prosecution,
if she leaked
when
the video.
prosecution
So
came out, you stumbled
don't
for
show
3
how
minutes,
slow
you
you
remember
are.
everything else in the prosecution.
Don't do that.
And he looked at us
I
like-
don't know if you know.
Looked at like, boy,
She would
stop,
not
right?
be sitting
But she
in the
literally-
courtroom
he
if
was
she
like, "Miss
leaked
Comey,"
it.
she said,
So
"Your Honor, I think your
stop
assessment is
that.
correct. I do think somebody's lying, right?" She was looking like, go ahead, make the inquiry. You want my device? Here, all y'all. Come on, everybody put that. I'm surprised Miss Marie didn't pull out her purse and be like, yo, everybody put your cell phones in the bag. Put your cell phones in the bag. We're going to send this to forensic. Come on. Put your cell phones in the bag. Jaria, the Black Diamond, said, I know them.
Yes, she is, Jamal. And if you keep lying over here, I'm going to remove you.
Patricia Walker said it was a TMZ article that talked about the second juror. What?
She's in the courtroom.
What? I don't think that was the article. No. No, that couldn't have been the article. Because the mess about juror number 6 and the text, that came out yesterday. And it happened yesterday. Judge Aaron is saying that
She's in the
whatever
courtroom,
was
Jamal.
happened on Friday.
Don't come over here lying.
Happened on Friday. This shit about what happened, it was in the closed chamber. They didn't have a closed chamber discussion about the second juror. That shit happened on Monday. I do believe. All right. Also, there's a link to my merch in the live. Anyway, right? He then went on to say, he said, if a judge was
I'm
to
timing
file
you
an
out
opinion
until you realize
about
I
one of
run
the
my show
parties
over here. You don't run it. I
compromising
said
the
stop
integrity of the
lying.
trial, it would
And I'm
have
not going back and
shockwaves.
forth with
All
you.
right? Now, the funny thing is, Diddy keeps, in my mind, Diddy keeps messing with Judge Aaron. Why he is hot and bothered. Instead of sitting there and being quiet, right? Diddy literally, out the blue, for the first, I've been in in this trial for 5 weeks. For the first time out the blue, while the judge is talking, he chooses to do this. Yoga stretches in his seat while the judge is talking. I've never seen him do that. And Diddy is sitting directly in front of the judge. I think he was enjoying how angry Judge Aaron was. I truly think he was enjoying how. And
There
in my
you
head,
go,
I'm
because
like,
you
are
don't know how to
dumb?
follow
Are
instructions.
you dumb? There's a time to antagonize and time not to antagonize, right? We can make an argument on whether pettiness, the energy, the universe, but there is a time to antagonize and a time
Juan
not to
Perez, he
antagonize.
snuck in some baby
You
oil.
do not get to antagonize someone when you don't hold the power. But that's what you know about his mindset. He is unrepentant. He doesn't think that he's done anything wrong. He doesn't think he's done anything to be ashamed about. And if he gets off, he is going to wreak havoc.
A tight-knit college in a city of opportunity, Washburn offers the best of both worlds. Clothes.
He is going to wreak havoc in everybody's life. Probably start mine first. But anyway, right? So anyway, they said, oh, so then also he was like, what else? So he was like, I'm looking into this, right? And everybody was just sitting there. They was just like 3-year-olds looking down, except for Diddy doing yoga stretches to antagonize the judge. Like, what is wrong with you? And even if you weren't doing it to antagonize the judge, let's just face devil's advocate. If you know that you're in trouble, is that really the time to start doing this? Like, Diddy built, he is the king of
Thank
image.
you,
He built
Luana.
a whole
Luana, I'm trying to
empire
tell
built on
him.
shadows. So it leads me to believe that you knew what you were doing because you guard your image so heavily. Anyway, right? They said that, so anyway, they're like, oh, yes, Your Honor, we have one more question. Judge Aaron was not having it. Tyrone Blackburn said, it may have been related to Juror 6's lack of comprehension, which was discussed privately. I don't think so. There was, you guys, it wasn't just a juror. There were other things discussed when they kicked us out the room. Because they were talking about Juror 6 around us and the lack of this and lack of that. I was there when that happened. For them to, why they gotta blow leaves out? Let me get closer. The leaf blower's out. That's my little co-star. But for them to actually kick everybody out the room, they were discussing more than that. Because I was there when they talked about jurors number 6, possible lack of comprehension. So it wasn't anything dealing with juror number 6. I promise you, it wasn't anything. And that shit about juror number 7, that happened yesterday. But then again, who knows? Anyway, they said, juror number 6, they said, listen, so then they were like, Your Honor, what was the reason juror number 6 was excused, right? But they mumbled it because they didn't want to get on his bad side. He said, there were no circumstances, all right? We didn't address the reason. We just told all the jurors he's been excused. Get your asses up on that juror. Basically, right? Again, Diddy stretch seemed like he was super happy and relaxed, just weird, right? Oh, also, this is a little disgusting thing before I forget. Do you know, why is my life like this? Why are they doing, I mean, I get it, it's the courthouse, that's why it looks so beautiful, but like, this is my life, a leaf blower. Why I gotta get the person that's actually doing their job? Half the time they just be like, you know? Anyway, let me get closer so y'all can hear, right? So here's the thing, right? Exactly, it was deliberate and disrespectful. Diddy is too smart not to realize optics. His whole life is optics. He did it, and he was enjoying the fact that the judge was so tight and so hot and so bothered, right? But get this, they also, Tenny Garagos requested that Diddy be, why we were waiting for the jury to come in, right now that's what we're doing. Tenny Garagos requested that Diddy be allowed to look, hold on y'all. Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the comments if y'all can hear me. Diddy's team requested that, listen, listen. Okay, here we go. Diddy's team requested that while we're waiting for the jury to come in, that Diddy be allowed to view the freak-off tapes. That ninja is unrepentant. You now want to, you want to see the freak-off tapes? You want to see the freak-off tapes? You want to see the freak-off tapes, right? He wants to see the evidence, what was shown to the jury. There was an 11-minute freak-off tape, a 40-minute freak-off tape, and whatever. And he wanted to see that. That man is a demon. Demon. Thank y'all. A demon child. Rand, thank you so much for the super chat. And Nicole Brown said, I heard that jury number 2 was in trouble too this weekend. Okay, maybe it is jury number 2. Maybe. Beach Slide Stranded, thank you so much for the super chat. So anyway, right? So the judge said, yeah, go ahead and show him the evidence. So they said, Your Honor, we'll take him to like the robing room or whatever to show him the video. So right now that perv is watching the freak-off tape. Why do you need to see the freak-off tape? You were there. What you gonna say? Look at the way she arches her back and smiles. She enjoys it.
Hi, Kimberly.
Right? But here's the thing. The judge looked at Mark Agnafilio and said, Mr. Agnafilio, we'll let him go see the tapes, but it is now your responsibility. If anything about what's on those tapes leak, if anything, hey, good morning. If anything about what's on those tapes leak, you are responsible. And I don't care where it came from with your team, you're responsible, right? They also said, so then Tinny Garagos is like, Your Honor, you know, Big Yella IDR, thank you so much. But thank you, Big Yella. She was like, Your Honor, like, you know, listen, I know you said that, but I'm under a court order responsible for the USB trial. So if anything comes back,
they definitely are responsible. I agree, T.I.
The judge looked at her and said,
They trying to do a whole bunch because they know it's a wrap. While everybody's trying to make excuses for him.
Prior to Diddy's team, they also said that they're going to ask juror number 7 questions in the roving room later today. Also, last thing.
Now Rkelly pulling stunts.
2 to 5 trial
the
days
2 people that was doing the same things.
Mark Agnafilio thinks he needs, right? Motions and everything. They said that basically the defense thinks that their
are
case
pulling the
will
same
take
type
about a
stunts.
week. The defense, you heard it here first. The defense thinks that their case is going to take a week. Baby, Diddy is going to jail. And then also let's
he going to jail.
He's going to have all these witnesses and all this. The only person
I don't know about together, but I don't listen. I don't care if people OD.
He lost his mind off of that nitrous
I'll
oxide.
talk about it when we finish this in a minute.
You could get, I guess, you got the local crackhead that knows how to play music to come, and maybe not a crackhead trying to get over their addiction, but one that realized they gonna smoke this crack for the rest of their lives and be happy at it. That's what he got going on. Pi3232 said, love your coverage, girl. Thank you for all your hard work. You guys listen. I do what I can. Kitwana Teamba said, Tisa, why do you think why there are so many people talking about that believe he's innocent? Honestly, I think some people want to think he's innocent. I think some people are paid, and I think
the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Ain't that what they say?
I don't think they're looking at the facts. Diddy is going to be convicted. Trust and believe. And I'm gonna do my victory lap when he is. And if he's not, I will be in an Uber going straight to JFK. I would just walk downstairs, get an Uber. I'll literally tell the hotel, burn all my stuff. I don't need it. Eldetta White said, keep up the excellent work, Tisa. It has to be exhausting, baby. It is, but I love doing this for you. The legendary Kind, thank you so much for joining the family again. Yeah, if he's not, y'all will know, because I'll be like on an Uber. I won't even hi guys, I'm on my way to JFK. Literally, what's the next flight out? Well, we got a flight going to Bora Bora, leaving in an hour. Put me on that. I'll find my way home. Beach Life Stranded, thank you so much for the super chat. Again,
he guilty about extortion, Dallas. He extorted what, 24, what was it, 20, 40K, 20K from that girl mama.
It's probably culminate with Diddy actually taking the stand,
threatening to have somebody be put in the
apologizing to
river,
all the women he heard,
down by the river. Yeah, he guilty of a whole bunch of stuff.
Robin Chester,
bribing the guy for the tape at the hotel.
That is a quick update. I gotta get back in the court. Brendan Paul's gonna be there. Shout out to Zandra. Me and Darla was talking. What's up? And also, you guys, send some love to Darla from ABC. She is up for the Max Robinson Award. Somebody said, Sandra said, I got you. I'll hide you. Girl, no. Y'all gonna see me literally in the Uber. JFK, please. But please, listen, at JFK, if the traffic's too much, I'm like,
I haven't been to the grocery store in over a year, but I'm eating healthier than ever. Here's how I did it. Meal planning used to be such a nice...
You. Thank you so much. And Robin Chesser, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, why a victory lap? You don't do a victory lap when you see God's will done. You don't do a victory lap when you see good triumph over evil.
That's what it's called now.
You see somebody that is a smack.
That's racketeering now.
Someone that messed with people's mentals and treated people
That's
like animals.
racketeering now.
Dallas.
Hey, Big Pressure.
Baby,
they leaking info.
He did not say to delight in all things he's created. He's even created divine justice. Deborah Graham, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, we do a victory lap around here. Won't he do it? Did he not teach us to delight and literally and glorify all his creations? Did he not? Did he not? So I will. Anything he brings about, I will glorify. Yay! Anything he brought, I will delight in his creation. Listen, okay. Oh, Ameka, thank you so much. I'm gonna try to get back on Sussex Squad.
Hold on. They leaking information. Let me get to Aura before we get back over there, just in case I have to exit on y'all for not hitting the like button. Aura faking. I don't care what nobody say.
Anybody who's been following the Sean Combs saga knows that name. He had been arrested early on during the course of this investigation.
Hold on.
At an airport. He's a former assistant of Sean Combs.
I don't care what nobody say.
Immunity by the court
Rkelly know how many pills he take. He been in prison for how long? So why would you take extra pills? Hold on. Let me slow this. Why would you, knowing how many pills you take a day, allow yourself to be given extra pills and you put them in your mouth? The federal case is getting weird all over the U.S. Who can trust the justice system anymore? I don't suggest people break the law. Don't break the law. I'm going to say it again. Don't break the law. Do not break the law. Because if you think that they going to set you up or see, this is why you should never be a part of an Illuminati, a Baba-ati, a Rap-Ali. I don't know what they up under.
Breaking news this morning concerning R&B singer and
but I don't believe Rkelly. I'll tell you that now. I think he faking. Now he may have blood clots. He may have some blood clots. But yeah. What that mean? Take your blood clot medicine. And know how many pills you're supposed to be taking every day. Right? And you know if they give you extra pills, don't put them O's in your mouth. Act like you swallowing them. But you're not getting out of jail. You're not getting out of jail. This is what happens when you freaks sit up there and record your illegal activities. And taking hookers across state line is not just a misdemeanor, or that is racketeering. That is human trafficking. It's a part, it's a whole bunch of stuff mixed up in there. And if y'all hadn't figured that out by now, shame on y'all. Stop breaking the law. Because again, what you think is the law ain't the law. That's why it's the jails are overcrowded. Because people think they know of the law. Oh, that ain't what that is. Says who? Say you. Did you write the law? Did you write the law? No, you didn't. Okay. So I know your ass ain't read the law completely. So hush. There's a lot of people die in jail. There's a lot of people in there that have blood clots. There's a lot of people who somebody done put a hit on them in prison. It happens in there. You're not entitled to get out because your life is threatened. I suggest the time that you spending on trying to come up with skits to get out, you need to be figuring out how to protect yourself. And somebody come up in your jail cell in the wee hours in the morning. What are you gonna do? They think they're above the law. You ain't. You ain't the first person who done got jacked up, beat up, an attempt on their life. How do you think the people that you victimize feel right now about their life? Some of them are still being tormented emotionally and mentally by some of the things that they did for you and with you. Because you sold them a hoop dream. Yeah, shut up. I don't feel sorry for none of them.
From an overdose of medications in prison. TMZ also...
How you don't know how many pills you're supposed to take?
Some of the reports that they have already issued here, as Rkelly, TMZ says, is doubling down on his claim that his life is in grave danger in prison, now alleging the Bureau of Prison Staff at his federal center in North Carolina
You let him out, he'll be acting just like a Quet Hernandez Govan, asking for special privileges, asking for this, thinking he should still be able to go here and there. No, sit your ass in prison. You do not get a free get out of jail card. I don't care how sick you are. You need to get closer to God. It may be him telling you it's time to go. I don't know, but you sit your ass in there.
Too much medication.
Same to the prison guards.
Overdose that left him hospitalized. A court filing submitted by his attorney Monday claims Rkelly was left bedridden in a hospital after a solitary confinement staff member instructed him to take additional medication the night.
And all of this, now we found out that this happened 2 or 3 days ago, right around the time he came out with this stunt. Hi, Robin. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Crystal. Hi, Portia. I can judge what he's already in jail for. I can judge Portia what he put on videotape. What do you mean? He's already been judged by the jury of his peers. What the hell you mean? Girl, go on with your stupid ass.
June 12th. The next morning,
I know you slow.
Allegedly awakened feeling faint and dizzy, and when he attempted to get up, he fell
How
on
about
the
that?
floor, crawled to the door of the cell,
You
and
slow
lost
to the slow bus.
consciousness. He was subsequently taken to Duke University Hospital, and during the ride there, he claims he heard a prison officer begrudge, quote, "This is going to open a whole new can of worms." During his 2 days stay
I don't
at the
play with
hospital,
slow.
Kelly says he learned he was given an amount of his prescribed medication that could have ended his life.
How do you not know how many
Kelly
pills you
claims in his
taking?
Monday filing that prison staff took him off necessary blood thinner medication and is now refusing to allow him a doctor-recommended surgery to clear blood clots in his legs and lungs that are putting his life in danger. Instead, they have him locked up in solitary confinement, where Kelly has expressed to his lawyer he is convinced he will be killed or left to die. Therefore, the disgraced music mogul is asking for temporary release to home confinement for the third time, arguing his life depends on it.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong
that an assistant United
with
States
sitting in
attorney
jail with a
has
little
recently
blood
filed a
clot.
response to Kelly's
How about
request,
that?
alleging
I
he
don't see
continuously paints
nothing
himself as the victim and adding,
wrong
quote, "This is the behavior of an abuser
with
and
the
a master
treatment that you're
manipulator on display."
getting.
The
I don't
response also
see
claims Kelly
nothing
knowingly submitted an action to a
wrong.
court that has no jurisdiction over his case.
You brought it on
accusing him of instead
yourself.
choosing to
Yeah,
write to let
sit your
his
ass
court
down.
know that he is cold in prison and to
Get
criticize the
up.
medical care
Get up
that
off
he is
your ass
receiving in order
and
to
move
turn the
around.
situation into a grocery store checkout aisle tabloid. Kelly's latest filing comes just a week after his legal team sought his immediate release.
Your mama vocabulary.
Murder for hire plot against
the
him.
mangy mutt puppy that had you, Patricia.
From another
yeah, the mangy mutt puppy that had you. How about that?
Prison if he murdered the singer. But just wanted to bring
y'all say bye to Patricia. Her feelings hurt.
TMZ that Rkelly reportedly rushed to the hospital from an overdose of medications in prison. So we'll be sure to follow that story for you here on Live Now from Fox.
All right, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were
I don't feel sorry for none of them. And anybody who sit up here and feels sorry for a PDF file, shame on you. This ain't the place for you. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm going to tell you that now. This is not the place for you. Let's come over here. Let's get some updates on Diddy. They playing games in our face. Take your medicine. Don't take extra. Count your pills. Oh, he can't count. I forgot. Yeah, she feeling sorry for a turd particular.
Your questions. By the way, everybody watching from YouTube right now, we got people from not only we got people from Canada, South America, Oregon, South Carolina, Romania, Florida, the UK, Pennsylvania. Let us know where you're calling in from. I'm not really calling. What am I in? 1990s radio show host? No, where you're messaging in from, where you're watching us, and we're going to take your questions. Everything about this case. So anything that happened in testimony the past few weeks, anything that happened today, we're going to talk about it. And let me just tell you what is happening. By the way, we're waiting to get Elizabeth Milner on, our law and crime in-court reporter as well, to tell us what's happening in court. But first of all, the day started.
They leaking information. They leaking the defense team is leaking information.
This investigation at an airport. He's a former assistant and associate of Sean Combs, potentially when it comes to drugs. He was granted
LaQuita has
Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and then he was granted an order of immunity protection in order to testify. So now he's compelled to testify. And then we continued on to
Keisha, I don't feel good today. I'm still up in the bed. They better leave me alone. They don't know. So now they know.
She is a summary witness. So basically what she's doing is providing an overview or summary of a plethora of digital evidence for the jury.
Don't come up in here co-signing no PDF file.
For hotels, planes, setting up these sexual events that are at the center of this sex trafficking and racketeering case, freak-offs, wild
Duchess,
nights, right?
hi.
Episodes. And it was basically what they're trying to prove is that Combs was using his staff and company to carry all this out. Remember, transportation to engage in prostitution, two of those charges, more the straightforward
They
charges,
just got to
accepts that he transported sex workers and alleged victims for the purposes of sex work. He could be found guilty of that. It's a more straightforward charge.
Yeah.
Sex trafficking,
and it's always some silly females.
When you talk about inducing women into commercial sex acts, using force, fraud, or coercion. And also with racketeering, the more that the prosecution can show that Sean Combs was using his staff, that there was a
that's a whole setup. Ain't nobody fed him nothing.
Hey guys, story that is just coming over.
Can y'all imagine how many people will be asking to get out of prison because they somebody say they gonna get them? Move them to another prison.
Now there were some text messages that also stand out that were read aloud to the
You went from move me to another prison to let me go home.
Of the March 26th
Man, if you ain't
attack on Cassie Ventura at the LA
everybody I know that's in prison need to pull a stunt and get moved
really exciting day for me,
and get an ankle monitor on.
And stay there until I look better. Then there's this back and forth with
Fool, they wouldn't even bail give you bail.
Maroon hasn't testified in this case yet. Ellie Maroon, there were multiple calls, and there were 4 calls between Ventura and Combs. And then at one point in time, Christina Coram, this is Combs' former chief of staff, also has
from TMZ about Rkelly. He is now claiming that he recently lost consciousness after a failed plot to kill him in prison.
A failed plot. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Security guard in order to make sure that footage never saw the light of day. There was testimony about that earlier in the trial. And then
I think all these women love. Oh my God.
Try and get more info. So you can see the allegation is using his staff his resources in order to cover up alleged crimes. Now, under cross-examination,
Pressure, oh my
what's happening right now.
Why you messing with Laquita today, Pressure?
All these summary charts with all of these messages, they purposely don't include messages that are
What do you mean? They don't want to go to. They don't want to go. What about the paid workers?
For example,
what about the men? Why is it always about the females? What about the men who was paid for services? Do y'all not realize that the men made more money than the females? But ain't nobody talking about the dirty. Ooh, Lord, it almost came out my mouth. Until y'all talk about the freaky ass men who enjoyed it, and got paid. Oh boy, got paid $5,000 a walk. And they used him 3, 4, 5, 13, 20 times. Oh boy said he bought his house off of Diddy. But ain't nobody saying nothing about them. Y'all giving high five up to the dirty DICK dudes that were workers. That bragged about it. So miss me talking about the females. Talk about the men. Y'all jump clear past over the men and land on the females. That's a problem. That's a problem. You got the Punisher, you know, he cloud chasing. He fell in love with the, you know, with the cookie. He thought the cookie was really choosing him. He wrote a book. It don't matter. Still talk about him. They did it for the money, right? You are a chauvinist. And you making me believe that you hate women just like Diddy. What about the men, Pressure? What about the men? So you acting like men can't be 304s? A 304 is a 304. Whatever classified a woman as a 304, it classifies these triple X workers as 304s too. A hooker is a hooker. So until you talk about the male hookers, don't talk to me about the females. It's equal opportunity hookering was going on. Everybody enjoyed it. It's just the men were not forced in no shape, form, or fashion. The men were not manipulated. Because what he really wanted to see the D's. He didn't want to see the cookies. Because he don't like cookies. Y'all killing me with y'all prejudice, bias mindset. I hope he rot in there. I hope he get as much baby all and ding-a-ling. He ought to be happy. He ought to be skipping to the loo, my darling, knowing he going where he can see all of it. Oh, but he can't sit in the corner and watch. Oh, he can't sit up there and dictate and regulate. Yeah, that's his problem.
That
y'all got integrity issues. I swear to God.
Or I can't concentrate, meaning I'm so turned on. I'm going to Dwayne
They
Lee,
all
pack us a bag. There's a message from Sean Combs to Cassie. I love you so much. How did this happen?
There were
Then her
victims.
responds, I wonder that
By law,
another message from Combs asking you
they're
to FO,
victims.
meaning freak off. So again, this is evidence that would seem to show
Not by popular opinion. By law, they victims. That's why his ass is finna go to prison.
Also, why did you not include this in your summary charts? Why are you excluding it? And right now, I believe the jury is listening to some video. We don't know what this video is. I believe they're wearing earphones. Everybody in the gallery doesn't know what it is, so we're not really sure, but they've been listening to it for quite some time. So right now we're going to take your questions. Let me bring in my all-star panel. We got with us Mina Sewat Lona, Sirius XM host, who's been following this case religiously, and also Alexis Rosenberg, trial attorney and federal litigator. It's great to have you both here. Let me go right to the questions. Okay, let me start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave me alone. Pressure. You know, Laquita is activated. Keisha, I told you they activated.
Drug mule. Will the mule Brendan Paul testify? Sure seems like it, right?
Yeah, he gonna testify and he gonna tell it.
It does seem like it.
And I'm gonna see what excuses you gonna make about him.
When I first heard of Brendan,
he's a privileged little white boy.
He played basketball at the school, and now he's involved in this, you know, this big trial. I think, you know, he has the immunity deal, and he's a big part of the drug.
Good morning, Amanda.
This case. So I think Brendan will take.
Y'all get the likes up. If y'all finna wear my nerves, y'all need to get my likes up. Everybody, talking that thick.
Drug offenses are underlying crimes.
You need to double tap your screen.
Prosecutors need to prove at least 2 underlying crimes, whether it's, you know, possession with intent to distribute, labor, kidnapping, bribery.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously,
I'm finna remove you from my chat.
Alexis,
how about that?
A question from Denise Lopez. If a mistrial is called for whatever reason and he gets a retrial, can he cop a plea?
And it's 2 N's, not 1.
He could cop a plea, yes.
FINNA. Finna.
They could offer him something. Obviously,
get it right.
You know, there was a plea that was on the table. I don't know if it's still on the table.
Thank you, ma'am.
He turned it down. A lot
You're
of
welcome,
times,
precious.
When they make a plea, unless the case really goes, you know, in favor, takes a real direct turn in favor of the prosecution, that plea that they offered will stay on the table. So that could still exist, but he, I think, believes he's going to possibly win this.
Oh, he couldn't possibly.
Okay, so we got a question here from Olivia E. I'll throw this to you, Mina. Question, why was it necessary for the jurors to watch footage of the freak-off?
He can take all the dictation.
Effective, healthy blood pressure support takes more than innovation. It takes vision. At Human, our plant-based supplements are...
Billy, he can take all the dictation he wants.
So they were clearly explicit videos. I mean, I read countless reports where one juror was so upset that she actually took her headphones off, and she was just mortified at what she was watching. It's one thing.
I agree, Isabella. He may enjoy that prison life.
When you see something, it really drives home the point of what was happening in that room. And it could also help the jurors understand maybe this wasn't consensual. If you're watching a woman having sex against her will, you will see that in the video. So I think it just really hits home, and it helps them, the prosecution, with what they're trying to prove. And it's graphic. You know, anything that you can get to
be
anything
the
that you
best
can present
prisoner.
to help the jury feel an emotion is definitely going to help.
Valerie.
Got a question from Fabiola. Oh, and let me tell you what I think. Really,
Valerie.
At the end of the day,
they woke up Laquita.
Directing.
You know she ain't wrapped too tight.
Directing. That goes to force fraud or coercion. Even if the fact that these events happen, you need to prove that. You need to prove that.
Yeah. He needs to market that. Put it on some T-shirts. I'm living the prison and do his little Diddy dance. Life, yeah. Have a prison party up in there. Ain't no party like a prison party, cause a prison party won't.
Delgado LeBron. Can we go over the number of different ways we have proven Rico so far? Thank you for blessing us with your voluptuous hair. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's
ain't no party like a prison party, cause a prison party don't stop. Yo, the roof. The prison roof is on fire. We don't need nothing. Our orange party. They having an all orange party. Uncle White party. It's the all orange party. Yeah. The roof. Prison roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let them. Yeah, let's go.
It's a tough life. Alexis, where are we? What are we talking about? Let's go over the number of different ways we.
He gonna spend most of his time waiting
on
someone to drop that soap. Ooh, a drop. That's what they need to call it. A drop stop. What is it? soap dropping party. Soap dropping party. Yeah. Yeah. Then, yeah, somebody got into a altercation last night, some rapper. Somebody whooped him. What was his name? Whooped him out of his pants at a party at the bowling alley. I mean, they was slipping and sliding all over the place. I said, is this some Diddy shit work? What type of fight is this? Were they fighting and slipping and sliding, and the man, instead of swinging, he went to pulling down his pants. He wanted to see that dang line. I said, what type of fight is this? Y'all slipping and sliding. Somebody done put all type of baby oil on what? And then he yanked his pants down. Boss man Delow. Yanked hit, bootay necktie. Who lying? That was boss. There you go. Freak out fight. Who lying? Collins King. Pressure. Did you see? Baby, when that butt hit that, while he was trying to get up, he was so he was slick as Rick. He was slick damn Rick. I said, what type of frackle-knacker, all this shit is this? Who is Boss Booty Man? I said, Lord. Yeah, it's a lot of freaky shit, freak off. Why did he pull his pants down? Why he want to see his meat? Y'all, let me finish. Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
I think that we have, like we repeated over and over again, the criminal acts versus the only two.
I can't even show y'all. Cause there's booty everywhere, and they slip and sloping, and throwing chairs, trying to beat him. I said, what he do? Let me stop. What did he do? Pressure, what did they beat the man out his britches for? What did he do? What they want? And I could have sworn I heard somebody say he got beat up again. Is this a regular? He can't fight. See, people like that don't need to break no laws. Cause hell, if you can't fight and keep your pants up without slipping and sliding and shit, your ass ain't gonna make it in prison. So stop breaking laws. I can't even show y'all. And he had one of them finesse 2-time asses. He had a big old butt. They was doing the butt. Don't work that. He had a big old butt. Man with hips. I can't stand seeing men with hips like that. Ooh. Let me go before I get in trouble.
Rico, so far, thank
Did
you
he send him
with your voluptuous hair? You're welcome. It's a takes a village.
Want some brown eyes.
Alexis, where are we? What are we talking about? All right. Go over the number of different ways we've proven Rico.
Let me pull up.
I sure can, Jesse. So I'm a firm believer that we have proven Rico, first of all.
Absolutely.
I think that we have, like we repeated over and over again, the criminal acts. First, we only need two.
To embarrass
as you stated earlier. But we have
for what? They wanted to embarrass
that
man for the whiskey.
Evidence that's
also, I don't know nothing about that. Some of that.
The transporting of sex workers, as well as we have coercion, we have guns. So we have that. We also have the prosecution showing that there was this enterprise,
not nice,
because we had all of these individuals that were setting up the rooms, that were coordinating and moving the sex workers. We had these individuals that were making calls that could be viewed
and
as
the rest
coercion
don't get charged. Y'all still think
so. I think the prosecution has checked off, as I keep saying, the RICO
The problem with that is some of these people is already working with the government against Diddy.
Ultimately convict him of that is another question.
You fail to understand that. You the only one that's late to the party.
Was watching.
They don't already snitched on Diddy.
Are these alleged freak-off tapes from 2012 and 2014 concerning Cassie Ventura? You know, we have this question from Olivia E. We're going to go back to her because I think it's a really important point, Mina. We've been hearing these summary witnesses for the past.
So they leaked the information about a juror.
Testimonies are necessary, and why?
I do think because they're presenting additional text messages and additional evidence, and I think that they're actually planning something. They keep talking about KK, and a lot of these text messages are actually the interactions between Cassie and Jane Doe as to relates to them complaining or voicing their disappointment or their frustration or the fact that
with juror number 7, as I report, I think the information that was leaked about the Diddy trial is about the issues with juror number 7. As I reported this morning, the judge blew down on Diddy's lawyers and the prosecution, accusing them of leaking confidential information to the press that they talked about in a sealed courtroom on Friday. Now, both Diddy's lawyers and the prosecution said they had no idea how this information got out, and I think it's about juror number 7, and the judge was not playing. He said that he will be confiscating their phones, and he said that if he finds out who leaked it, he can hold them in contempt of court. Now, the judge did not go out and say exactly what this information was that was leaked to the press, but
if they can make everyone flip and makes the justice system seem flawed. So if the justice system is flawed or not, don't break the law. Don't break the law. Don't break the law. It's just that simple. The justice system ain't perfect and you ain't either. But the difference is they go send your ass to prison. Period. There's no excuses. I don't give a he shouldn't have did it. Period. And if you don't like the treatment he get, go trade places with him. Go sit in his seat. I don't feel sorry for nobody who consistently break the law and then come up with reasons and loopholes how to get out of it. And when they can't get out of it, they cry me a goddamn river. No, Uckham. He is a PDF file. Period. I ain't making excuses for none of them. I don't give a flying uck about if it's flawed or not. Stop breaking the law. How about that?
This issue could have possibly been about juror number 7, another juror that they had an issue with right after they dismissed juror number 6. Because yesterday in open court, the judge said that they talked on Friday about an issue that arose about this other juror, which we now know is juror number 7, which would have been in that sealed courtroom, as you can see in our.
Wait a minute.
Because yesterday in open court, the judge said that they was leaked to the press, but you know me, I did some digging and I'm about to give you my thoughts on this, so let's get into it. Now, I started off thinking automatically that this issue could have possibly been about juror number 7, another juror that they had an issue with right after they dismissed juror number 6, because yesterday in open court, the judge said that they
talked somebody done about an issue that they sure did.
Other juror, which we now know is juror number 7, which would have been in that sealed courtroom, as you can see in our city press saying, because it was something that wasn't ever said to the public or near the press. Only thing that I've ever seen about this other juror recently, the other
Star Island Prison,
this filed by the government, which was a motion about there neading to be fact-finding.
They didn't appreciate their fame and wealth. They figured out ways of turning it around and doing illegal shit with it.
Same reason why they talked about this in a sealed courtroom. Then yesterday, I kept seeing people report that this juror got a mysterious text. I'm like, how is everybody finding out this information? I never saw it. So I Googled it, and the one article that came across my screen was Diddy trial juror gets a mysterious text. The judge worried that he's blabbing. Mind you, this from TMZ was just posted 22 hours ago, and there's only 3 articles that I could find with this information.
Oh, that's oh boys, oh girl, the lead counsel. That other ladies that
in this article, TMZ says the Diddy trial is on the verge of another
Daddy,
shakeup.
who cool with TMZ. That's where it was leaked from. The defense, like I said.
This juror is talking about the case outside of court. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that the juror alerted the court on Friday about the text message from a phone number that he didn't recognize. The text message asked him if he was juror number 6, who had already been in the news as someone that Judge Shermanian might dismiss. Now, according to TMZ's direct sources, they claim that this juror told the judge that he didn't recognize the phone number, but the judge had concerns that he might be discussing about the trial with people who are not on the jury, which is a violation that could get you dismissed from the jury because you're not supposed to talk about the case. So if this is information that nobody has heard about, I followed the court case to a T, and only 3 articles have reported on it. How in the world did they get this information? And I'm sorry, but we know that Mark Geragos is very close with TMZ's Harvey Levin. Mark Geragos had already been warned by the judge about talking about the Diddy trial on the Two Angry Men podcast with Harvey Levin.
Yep.
We know that Mark Geragos' daughter is Teddy Geragos, who is an actual lawyer on the Diddy trial for Diddy right now. I cannot say that any of this is true, and I cannot verify that this is the exact article, but based on all of the information I have read and seen, and the government even redacting information when they put in motions to the judge about this issue, it seems like it's probably about juror number 7, because there is no way in the world that only these 3 media outlets would be reporting this information, and no big outlets are reporting it. I don't know if Mark Geragos is in the room, but we know either way he's connected to Diddy's lawyers. So if the judge finds this out, I don't think it's gonna end well.
As long as probably forever,
this in the comments.
Okay. Let's get back over here. Let's end this, because y'all don't rattle my nerves too early.
Because the other charges are lesser. He won't necessarily get as much, and it's going to be difficult to really
bring these summary witnesses for the past.
Agree with the lifestyle to do with the transporting of sex workers.
So, obviously he would be an important witness in that regard. Alexis, let me go to you. We got a question from Denise Lopez. If a mistrial is called, there's a message from Sean Combs to Cassie. I love you so much. How did this happen? Ventura responds, I wonder that too. There's another message from Combs. I'm not
lying, dude. You don't love nobody but yourself.
So again,
and the devil.
Evidence that would seem to show perhaps these were willing participants. This was all consensual. And also, why did you not include this in your summary chart?
Even consensual. If it's triple X, it's still against the law.
Wearing earphones. Everybody in the gallery doesn't know what it is, so we're not really sure, but they've been listening to it for quite some time. So right now we're going to take your questions. Let me bring in my all-star panel. We got with us Mina Sewa Lona, Sirius XM host, who's been following this case religiously, and also Alexis.
Plea that they offered will stay on the table. So that could still exist, but he, I think, believes he's going to possibly win this.
Okay, so we got a question here from Olivia E. I'll throw this to you, Mina. Question, why was it necessary for the jurors to watch footage of the freak-offs? Is that what they were shown? They were shown. They were shown explicit videos. And I'll tell you why I think it's important, but first I want to hear from Mina.
So they were clearly explicit videos. I mean, I read countless reports where one juror was so upset that she actually took her headphones off, and she was just mortified at what she was watching. It's one thing to hear something, and it's another thing to see it. And when you see something, it really drives home the point of what was happening in that room. And it could also help the jurors understand maybe this wasn't consensual. If you're watching a woman having sex against her will, you will see that in the video. So I think it just really hits home, and it helps them, the prosecution, with what they're trying to prove. And it's graphic. You know, anything that you can get to anything that you can present to help the jury feel an emotion is definitely going to help you.
Got a question from Fabiola. Oh, and let me tell you what I think. Really, at the end of the day, right, Is he directing these sexual events? Because if he's directing, that goes to force, fraud, or coercion. The very fact that these events happen, you need to prove that. You need to prove that these freak-offs happen, or wild king nights, or hotel nights. You need to prove it happened. And by the way, the idea that he was recording these events and potentially using them as a way to threaten these alleged victims to get to do what they want, the videotapes, I think, are pivotal in this case. We got a question for you, Alexis, from Fabiola Delgado Lebron. Can we go over the number of different ways we have proven RICO so far? Thank you for blessing us with your voluptuous hair. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's takes a village, but what can you do? It's a tough life. Alexis, where are we?
Hey, Joe Bass.
All right. Go over the number of different ways we've proven RICO so far.
I sure can, Jesse. So, I'm a firm believer that we have proven RICO, first of all. I think that we have, like we've repeated over and over again, the criminal acts. First, we only need 2, as you stated earlier. But we have multiple of the buying of the drugs. We have multiple evidence that's been presented having to do with the transporting of sex workers, as well as we have coercion, we have the guns. So we have that. We also have the prosecution showing that there was this enterprise because we had all of these individuals that were setting up the rooms, that were coordinating and moving the sex workers. We had these individuals that were making calls that could be viewed as coercion on behalf of Diddy. So I think the prosecution has checked off, as I keep saying, the RICO bingo card. Now, and once again, whether the jury is going to determine that they ultimately convict him of that is another question.
Yeah, and by the way, they've taken a break in court. What the jury was watching, as per reporting from CNN, are these alleged freak-off tapes from 2012 and 2014 concerning Cassie Ventura. You know, we have this question from Olivia E. We're going to go back to her because I think it's a really important point, Mina. We've been hearing these summary witnesses for the past 2 days now. Do you think that these summary testimonies are necessary, and why?
I do think because they're presenting additional text messages and additional evidence, and I think that they're actually planning something. They keep talking about KK, and a lot of these text messages are actually the interactions between Cassie and Jane Doe as to relates to them complaining or voicing their disappointment or their frustration or the fact that they're scared, voicing these things to KK. So the prosecution is going somewhere with this. They've already named KK as a co-conspirator. So I think it's really important for that next step is what I'm thinking they're setting up, which could be, and we've been talking about this, KK possibly taking the stand.
Well, I think we would have known by now, right, Mina? I mean, by right now, they haven't indicated that KK is going to take a stand. I think they say Brendan Paul, another summary witness, maybe. If they don't call her, Mina, you think the jury's going to be saying, that's weird?
I think they need to call her. You know, a lot of the times with RICO, you need to see the hierarchy, right? And we're getting all this information that Sean Diddy Combs asked his employees to do X, Y, and Z. But who is the enforcer? I think in order to really hit home that RICO charge, you have to really prove that there's some kind of hierarchy. And I think KK provides that middle person between Diddy and between the many bodyguards and the many assistants and the people that are needed in order to execute these freak-offs and to really coordinate the transportation. Right, so I think it's a glue that I think will really help the jury see that structure and maybe be more likely to say guilty on the RICO charge.
Alexis, we got a question from Show and Tell Knitting. Seems like this case is a slam dunk for the government. What sorts of believable evidence can the defense present that would change any of the jurors' minds? I have thoughts, but I'll throw it to you first.
Okay, first of all, the federal government does not bring charges until they really work up a case. So usually if you're charged with a federal crime, there is a high percentage that you're going to be convicted right there. So I think that the defense, they need to focus on that domestic, which they seem to, that this was just relationship, it was consenting, and although you might not agree with the lifestyle, there was the...
Hold on, y'all, we'll be back. Y'all hit my like button.
I can't say this right. Diddy's team in a new twist of fate. This is more bad news for him. How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, so much has happened in the courtroom. I can't say this right. Diddy's team in a new twist of fate. This is more bad news for him. They are begging the judge to dismiss juror number 7, except as I explained earlier, the judge is looking at Diddy's team as you guys are now leaking information. On top of that, they pretty much played 23 minutes of a freak off tape in court. When I tell you that the jury was disgusted, was revolted, but also was just sitting there and like, how much is it gonna go? I don't understand Diddy's defense. This is your defense. She loved it. She enjoyed it. On top of that, the judge is done with Diddy. On top of that, we need to actually say this too. Diddy has a 1 week defense set up. He somehow thinks he is going to exonerate himself in 1 week. Y'all, let's get into this because you cannot make this up. What do y'all want to talk about first? I already told y'all about the way the judge literally accused the defense of violating a court order that they themselves wanted. He says that he is looking into perhaps a full investigation where they take phones, check for evidence, make people testify under jury. He told Mark Agnefolio that if any more leaks, for whatever reason, come out of his camp, he is holding Mark accountable. And he reminded them that it is also a civil and a criminal trial. On top of that, I'm pretty sure I can get people disbarred. Listen, what's up, Angela Pietro? Thank you so much. Say, keep doing what you're doing, fan for life. Thank you. So what is going on and why is this more bad news, right? Now, first of all, we got to talk about the transcript and what happened with Judge Arun. And the reason Diddy's team thought they were making plays, don't get me wrong, Xavier Donaldson made an impassioned plea that got the judge to kind of reconsider over the weekend. Or so they thought. All he did was make the judge make sure, let me dot my I's and cross my T's. As a matter of fact, here's what he said. And last thing, in response to what my adversary said about Mr. Johnson asking us to make a decision on race, I have a rule. This is Xavier Donaldson. I don't generally play the race card unless I have it in my hand. Now, the funny thing is, I don't think he knew what he was saying. I got what he was saying, but I was like, you gotta have, okay, fine, right? He said, unless I have it in my hand. And I'm not saying I'm playing it right now, but the facts are the facts. And I'll go with what the facts are. And all I'm suggesting to the court, and I'll sit down for this type of decision, that we do have alternates that were, we all pick those alternates just like we pick the sitting juror because we select those that we want to preserve. So I do understand that they are equally appropriate for the jury, but to remove one during trial, I think it wouldn't burden us too much just to make sure and bring him out here for however many minutes that the court deems appropriate to ensure we're doing the right thing. Not to ensure we're doing the right thing, but to ensure that at best we can, that the conclusions we draw, Tricia Link, thank you so much for the super chat, that the conclusions we draw are the right ones. This was just Diddy's team and Xavier Donaldson last week leading the charge on why this is a call to justice. Danny W., you said thank you for the good work. Thank you. And Tricia Link, thank you again. Right? Also, tap the screen to like. Oh, really quick. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Really quick. My merch store is in session. Also, Heal with Nona Black TV said, hi, Tisa, warrior for the people. Oh, thank you. I ordered my merchandise. You rock. You guys, I have all sorts of merchandise. Tees, t-shirts, ankle bracelets, whatever you want, I got them. Okay, so listen. Why did I read you that? For one, Diddy's lawyers are idiots, right? Again, I get why they thought they had a winning argument. I usually don't play the race card unless I have it in my hand. The fact that he said this out loud to the judge, but don't get me wrong, it worked because Judge Aaron thought long and hard. It wasn't a casual decision. But here's the part that I thought was so crazy, okay? The fact that you just said on Friday, we can't let jurors go. You just told us on Friday, this is a travesty, it can't happen. And now on Tuesday, what is today, June 17th or whatever? Are we in June? Yeah, the days are blurring. June 17th, now they are arguing to get rid of Another juror, juror number 7, just like that. They're begging the judge to get rid of juror number 7, and they don't want any questions. They don't want anything. All of a sudden, now for justice to be preserved, juror number 7 needs to get out of there. Tatum said, hi, T said, love watching you. Oh, Thrive. Keep up your hard work. Love the merch. All you guys, thank you so much for, listen, thank you so much, okay? So anyway, right? Where are we at? Oh, let's get into what Diddy's people really good, right?
And if she takes a
you guys
stand,
know that Diddy's
like Brendan, they would have to give her immunity. They got enough
Stacey Brown,
information.
thank you so much for the membership.
The trial,
Hold on, y'all.
talk amongst yourselves and just like, yo, this is my friend. The juror wanted to kick him out for what? Because he wanted to go see his daughter in jury. That might prejudice the jury a little bit. So we don't know what the jury has found out on their own, but the judge wanted to let you guys, let everybody know that juror number 6, the jurors don't know why he has been released. Okay. By the way, this is all before trial started. Okay. Just want to give you guys an update on a timetable, and then I'm going to go to the testimony of the day. The defense had a huge win today, but again, this is just wrapping up everything that happened today. The defense said before trial started, the judge says, we asked you yesterday, guys, how long do you need to put on Sean Combs' defense? Mark Agofino got up and said, Your Honor, we will need 2 to 5 trial days. If you ask me, that is not good news for Diddy. After all this time, I said yesterday, since Cassie's lawsuit came out, since her civil suit came out, we haven't heard a word from Diddy except from when he did that Instagram apology after the CNN video. You're telling me after a year and a half, and you're telling me after tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of civil cases and all these accusations, all you need is 2 days for a defense? Are you joking?
And you sit up there and said they had a win today.
Diddy does not have anybody willing to testify against them.
Oh, he sure does not.
They got to bring up an expert witness to counteract Dawn Hughes, who was the therapist who explained about trauma bonding and why certain women that are in relationships where guys are putting hands on them, they don't leave. They got to have a therapist to come and counteract that. You got to have a summary chart expert like the one who's on the stand now I'm going to talk to you guys about. That alone is a day or two. So where is this defense of, oh, this is the U.S. government trying to bring down a successful black billionaire? I've been telling you guys that for the past week. Mark Agofino told TMZ two or three months ago before the trial started, he says, our defense, we will prove that the United States government feds are only after Diddy because he is a black successful billionaire and they're trying to bring him down. They're going to use the daddyo angle. He was trying to become bigger than they wanted him to become and they brought him down. How are you going to prove that in 2 to 5 days? I have no idea, man.
They don't have a defense. I've been trying to tell y'all that.
Diddy's defense team is trying to be slick and trying to slide into okie doke and have the prosecution think, they have nothing. You see, yo, we're cool. Let's just rest and let's not go. And then Mark Agofino is going to probably come on Monday and be like, by the way, we have a last-minute witness. We need 8 days, and they're going to come with.
You can't do that.
Like, I have no idea. But if they only have a defense for 2 days, that either means one of 2 things. A, they think that the prosecution's case is super weak, that they don't need to defend themselves. And let me tell you, I've been in the courtroom. Y'all can say whatever you want about, yo, free Diddy, he's innocent or whatever. They have proven a lot. They have proven a lot. The STX trafficking for women selling themselves is proven already. The STX trafficking with force, fraud, and coercion, that is pretty much proven. There's some doubts. Yes, Jane had some holes. Cassie had some holes.
But the other people...
I wouldn't be shocked.
It's just not about Jane. It's about collective.
All day yesterday and even today, they made a strong case for Rico. If Diddy's team thinks that they could sit up there and just literally try to poke holes into the prosecution and think the jury is going to end up being in a hung jury and that's how he's going to get off, well, listen, that's not how I would play with my life. But hey, that's just me. I can't talk to Diddy, you know? The third theory, if they only have a 2 or 3 day defense, that means that Diddy has somebody on the jury and he is super comfortable. Let's not waste our time.
Well, they don't got peeped.
A doctor, put up an expert witness, put up some summary charts. All right, cool. The defense rests because Diddy knows that he has somebody on the jury that's like, nah, man, I'm not guilty, Your Honor, not guilty. Oh,
well, they don't peep that.
Nah, not guilty.
They don't got them out.
He gets walked off. there has to be some sort of explanation. It's either the okie doke, they're going to pull off some surprises and be like, oh, we need more time, or it's either they are just not great lawyers and they're making a mistake, which is not likely because it's some of the best lawyers in the world, or Diddy is very, very comfortable with the jury that he's picked. We've told you guys a bunch of times, cases like this are won and lost in jury selection, and they have a very, very diverse jury. There are two black girls, 2 black guys, and 1 older black lady. That their facial expressions, that black grandma, I really don't see her understanding the trauma bonding and understanding some of those things that are getting across. So they might feel like they have a juror that's on their side, and that's why they will arrest quickly. All right. Geez, I did 25 minutes. I didn't even get to the trial. That was everything in the morning. All right, let me tell you very quickly. The day started off with Brandon Paul. He came in there. He admitted that he had been subpoenaed. He pled the 5th, and you guys know what happens when you plead the 5th. After you get a subpoena, the government grants you immunity. Once you've been granted immunity, you have to talk. He will not go to jail as long as he tells the truth, okay? So we saw Brandon Paul very quickly. You guys know I like to give you insight from exactly what I see. So Brandon was wearing a black suit, white shirt, no socks, and black dress shoes. Very, very fashion forward, right? That's how Brandon looked. He should be getting on the stand by around 2 o'clock. So I'll come out at the end of the day. I'll probably have like an hour and a half testimony from Brandon, okay?
Hey, Brandon is there.
Pendale.
Okay. Hold on.
Through 23 minutes of free golf tapes. Now listen, yesterday, I think I reported it. If not, check out on Nancy Grace. I reported it. That we could hear what was going on the free golf tapes. It was faint, but it was there. You could hear murmuring. You could hear Diddy in the background giving orders. You could hear
him giving orders
on the free golf tapes. But it was light, right? Like a volume 1 to 10, it was like set at like volume.
You could hear him giving orders.
Right? However, today, the officer of the court, Anthony, while we were all listening,
you could hear him giving orders
today. Literally, and which, by the way, the reason we could hear it is because Tinny Garrigos happened to be accidentally holding her headphones right next to the microphone, so it was amplified. So we were all like, wait, what's he literally trying to listen? Anthony, the officer of the court, he's really cool, but he follows the rules like officers should. Walked to the front and was like, wait a second, we can hear what's being played. We can hear it in the well, the galley. That's what we call it, the well, gallery, whatever. And Tinny was like, what? You can hear it? Girl, you're holding it right next to the microphone. Stop playing. And he's like, yes, Your Honor, we can all hear what's being played right now. So we all were like, Anthony always following the rules. So that got shut down because Tinny was like, oh, and the judge was like, somebody's holding the headphones by a microphone. Maybe if they moved the headphones back, you wouldn't be able to hear. And she's like, sorry, Your Honor. Now, I'm not saying Tinny Garrigos did that on purpose, but I don't know. There's been a lot of leaks, according to the judge, coming from Diddy's team. Anyway, Stacy Brown, thank you for gifting a membership. Y'all make sure you say thank you to Stacy. And Robin Anderson, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Jamal Smith, welcome to the family. And Emily Lemon, welcome to the family. Stacy Brown, thank you so much. And Neats, thank you so much for the super chat. That again said, over under 6 months before feds lock up juror number 6. I gotta be honest with you, I don't think, hold on a second. Dee said, great job, Tisa. Going to get that journal, etc. Thank you. And also, Ronetta Ellington said, sending a super chat for that run last week to try to catch Ye. Thank you, Ronetta. I appreciate that. Thank you. Listen, I'm not saying she did it on purpose, but girl, you didn't know you were holding the headphones by a microphone and it was playing straight in, and we were all like locked in. There was a lot of combo. We were trying to make it out, and Anthony came and shut it down. But let's see the Diddy's team, because I find this whole night and day very fascinating. Jess, welcome to the family. And 03UN60 said, thank you. But here's the funny thing that I want to show the juxtaposition. And the way that Diddy's team is throwing, I would say spaghetti against the wall, but they are throwing lasagna against the wall and making a mess. Because, hear me out. Y'all just finished
talking about the way a juror should never be dismissed ever, and it's a travesty, and you stand on it. And you literally wrote this letter to the judge. Listen to the letter that they actually wrote to the judge, because I literally was like, they have no shame. And how can we take them seriously? Honestly, how can we honestly take them seriously? They said, Dear Judge Aaron, they just submitted this letter. Hold on. One second. What's today? So Diddy's team is once again trying to get the government to reconsider, the judge to reconsider his decision to get rid of juror number 6. The government just signed an opposition, right? Listen, the government does not oppose further fact-finding regarding juror, they're assuming it's number 7. They said the defense argues that the court, if the court removes juror number 6, then juror number 7 should also be removed. Again, these are the freedom fighters, the ones that said that we can't remove jurors. So you're saying that we get rid of the guy you like. And again, I gotta think, why is Diddy so obsessed with this juror? Why does Diddy want this juror, juror number 6? Why do you want him on the team so much that you are literally saying all this stuff, right? Why do you literally said that we can't remove number 6. You are fighting for your life. What is this affinity you feel for juror number 6? All the alternates have been sitting right next to the jurors watching. Does it really make that much of a difference? And to the point of you're now trying to act like they are a package deal. Well, if you get rid of juror 6, you need to get rid of juror 7. Why? Juror 7, let me be clear. The issue that juror 6 got removed was not, and I repeat, not because of the residents, okay? It was because of lack of candor. The judge was very clear about this. It was lack of candor. Whatever happened with juror number 7, it looks like that they were fully candid with this. So this is the government, what they said. While the government disagrees with linking the issues involving juror number 6 with those involving juror number 7, the government's review of the transcript and the court's instructions to the jury suggests that further fact-finding may be appropriate. Why? Because it is being alleged that juror number 7 got a message from someone saying, are you on the jury? And they immediately were candid and they brought it to the court. So there's no wrongdoing. It's no lack of candor. You cannot help if people message you. You can't control that. But now Diddy's team is saying, nope. We want him out of here too. It's really, really weird when you think about it. Hold on, you guys. Monica Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat. We also have, let me just give my commercial break. Lauren Knowles said, thank you for the tea. You're welcome, mama. And also we have Drum Woman Medicine. Welcome to the newest member, being the newest member of the THORNTON family, right? Also, the government is clapping back on Diddy's team saying, you gotta stop these baseless attacks. They said the government must respond briefly to Diddy's team reiterated attacks on the motives of the government's motion regarding juror number 6, which the court has already rightly rejected for the artifice it is. There's a difference between creating a record to maintain a party's objections and devolving into an ad hominem attacks on one's opponent. The second half of the defense's letter, which I'm going to read in a second, in contravention of the court's individual rules, unfortunately falls in the latter category. The government will not dignify yet another collection of baseless attacks, all of which have zero connection to the juror issues pending. Oh, thank you so much. Hold on really quick. Renee said, thank you for everything you do, T. So watching from PA. Shout out to PA and Renee. And Carlita is Leet TV. Carlito is Leet TV says, I've been on the trial. Having a black juror removed is critical when you're black. Carlito, I get that, but there's other black jurors. There's a lot of black jurors. This is one of the most diverse juries I've ever seen in court. He is not the only black juror. I could see making that argument if he was the only black juror. He's not the only black juror. There's plenty of black jurors. Plenty. So it's weird that you're focusing on this guy. And he's not even the only black male juror. So, like, what are we really doing? You see what I'm saying? Anyway. They said the government will not dignify yet another collection of basic attacks, all of which has zero connection to the juror issues pending, okay? By addressing each misstatement and inaccuracy and inaccuracy in the defendant's letter. Suffice it to say, the defense is wrong. In lieu of point-by-point rebuke, however, the government offers the following. Okay, first, in straining to make out a supposed pattern of misconduct, the defense does nothing more than repackage specious accusations already squarely rejected by the court. Now, if you guys have been following the jury trial the Diddy trial from the beginning, ma'am, Momo, thank you for being a member for 13 months, right? You said, love your journalism style. Thank you, Tisa. Now, if you guys haven't been following this from the beginning, Diddy's team have just been throwing shit out. Again, Brian still is running this like this is the Fulton County courthouse. And back then there was a lot of corruption in Fulton County. So it kind of did make sense. But now you have a judge and a prosecutor that is going by the book, and you're still throwing out fire, 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 when there actually is no fire, right? And also, they've all bought these motions up early on before the trial even started, and all these motions were firmly rejected. They said, take the argument that there were material misrepresentations or omissions and search warrants. In this case, it's just one example. The court, in a thorough and detailed opinion, flatly rejected the defendant's claims. That was in April 18th of 2025. The same is true on the other issues of Diddy's attempts to relitigate, including the government's exercise of peremptory strikes, for which the court found there was zero evidence of a racial motive, okay? Diddy's allegations of leaks, which the court simply found were unsupported, right? And the motions for mistrial, which the court has repeatedly denied. And even Diddy's motion for bail, which was rejected by 3 separate federal judges after lengthy hearings. The court should take the defendant's recycled arguments for what they are, a refusal to accept the well-supported decisions of this court and the insistence of casting aspirations without cause. Yes, they went in. They weren't done. There's a second thing. There is a second thing. Again, Diddy's team is floundering. Natasha, welcome to the family, girl. Diddy's team is floundering. But one of the reasons that Diddy's team is floundering is the fact that all these celebrities that were supposed to come to his defense, no one is showing up. Vonda Barton said Ye was approved to sit with the family in court. You'll be seeing him again. I hope so. He's going to be sitting there probably all next week, but guess what? Ye's gonna be the only person. Lady D, thank you so much for the super chat. And also, Susan Colquitt said the tea spills down to the Southern District of Texas, y'all. T said, stay safe, I will. And Jalissa Banks, thank you for the super chat. Oh, you know what I do want to talk about? Let's talk about that Ye thing, right? Because I find it funny that if you guys don't know, there was All Hip Hop Canada, right? Hold on really quick, y'all. Hold on. So Remy. So I find it funny this, right? Last Thursday, the people in the know knew for a fact that Ye was out there, right? And he was planning to go into court on the last day Jane Doe testified. Now, Remy from All Hip Hop Canada broke the story. He has sources, they were deep. He was the one that broke the story, okay? Mark Agnifilio was in court last week waving his hands and flapping around. Your Honor, people have a right to speak. Your Honor, people have a right to speak. Your Honor. Also, I have Your Honor t-shirts and merch. Your Honor, people, merch. Your Honor, people have a right to speak because how else are victims going to come forward? And the judge is like, why would we let anybody testify about what happened in that hotel room in Vegas when it's not central to any of the claims? Whether you can prove that Jane Doe is lying or not really doesn't mean anything. Jody Johnson-Strong said, I'm sure the jury was told they would have to watch it, but yeah. Exactly. And Candy Ortiz said, Tisa, keep giving us a tea, girl. You start my day every day. Thank you so much, Miss Ortiz. Also, we have Natasha said, finally, you are an official tattletale. Welcome to the family, mama. So listen, so my whole point is this, right? Remy from All Hip Hop Canada, Drum Mama Medicine, thank you for the boots on the ground. Totally a fan right here. Thank y'all, guys. So, and also Pam Bassett said, Tisa, keep telling your truth. We are so proud of you. Thank you. And Luisa Armelijo, thank you so much for the super chat. Remy was the one that said Kanye was planning to come in on court Thursday. 100%. However, around that time, Jane Doe, they decided not to let him even come out in court because they thought it might be looked at as witness intimidation, even if he's sitting in the galley. They thought it might look like witness intimidation for Jane Doe. Okay, that was her last day of testimony. They thought they were going to blow it up. it was decided that Kanye couldn't come into the courthouse, but he was outside waiting. You guys weren't here. There was security outside. People were waiting outside. It doesn't happen unless he is boots on the ground, and it would have been the ultimate stunt queen. They said no, they couldn't go down and let him in. Emperor CZR, thank you so much for gifting a membership. What happened the next day? The next day, Kanye actually even came into the courtroom because Jane Doe wasn't there. But the thing is, they couldn't get his name added to the family list. So he went and he sat in the overflow room for like 20 minutes, and then he got up and left. Y'all know, I saw him in the hall. I was trying to get an exclusive for y'all, but it didn't work out. But the whole point of the matter is, he couldn't get in. Now you guys are saying, and I believe it's true, that he's finally got his name added to the family list, and he will be there to support Diddy, okay? House of Wilds, I can't wait for my merch to get here. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for supporting, right? But here's my whole point, and let me just say this again. Diddy's and this promise that he has this long, loyal list, he has been abandoned by everybody, and rightfully so. Antigonia Hart said, I laughed at the Hogwarts book comment on Nancy Grace. I love your comedic timing. Will you be on her show for the remainder of the week? I believe I shall. I believe I shall, God willing. Judy Bradley said, love you, Tisa. Working so hard with so much bravery and with comedy cute. Oh, thank you. You said the cutest little bumblebee. And West Rand Webb said, people defending Puff are the same people that believe in karma. Exactly. So here's the thing. Diddy's friends have abandoned him. Diddy's friends have abandoned him. How do we know this? Because Mark Agnifilo, when the judge pressed him to give an estimate on how long his defense was going to take, okay? He literally said 3 to 5 trial days. 3 to 5 trial days. Now, y'all heard right. Diddy's team this morning said that they expect to wrap up the defense within a week, which means that they could go into jury deliberations well before July 4th. So how does that signal to me that all of Diddy's celebrities' friends abandoned him? It's quite simple. Y'all are going to be done in a week because no one's coming down here to testify for you. Not one person is going to sit there and put their reputation, their integrity, and stand next to that bubonic plague of a PR thing to support Diddy. And what could they say? What they can kind of say? Diddy's whole argument has been, yeah, he did it, but they enjoyed it. That's been his whole argument. That's why they paid 23 minutes of freak-off tape so far. We had to break for lunch. They made the jury sit through 23 minutes of freak-off tapes. Now, it wasn't straight through. They kept saying, oh, let's show 5 minutes of this one, 6 minutes of this one, 2 minutes of this one. They said that when they come back, they got another hour. So they're going to make them probably watch an hour of freak-off tapes freak-off tapes footage by the time it's done. Why are they doing that? Because Diddy's whole defense is they enjoyed it. So they're trying to show points on the tape where they can argue that she enjoyed it. The only problem is Cassie and Jane Doe have already admitted that they were high out of their minds when all this is happening. Of course they were looking like it enjoy it. Are you insane? And not even that. Maybe it's a generational thing, but that crap is not real. That crap is not real. Of course they're going to look like they enjoyed it. Bria Monty said, love you, Tisa. Got me a mug for the tea. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, Bree. Thank you, Miss Amani. And Dolores Ramirez said, girl, keep up the awesome reporter. Purchased your sweater last night. Thank you. Kanye civil case mirrors Diddy. We're about to get into Kanye. Anyway, it shows that all of Diddy's celebrity friends have abandoned him because they are not going to come to court. And it looks like he has no witnesses at all. And what is his defense? He did it, but they loved it. And the fact that, hey, how you doing, mama? And the fact that people really believe that there are women that enjoy having trains run out of them by people that are hung by like elephants with no protection, with commercials. Do y'all hear yourselves? Do you hear yourselves? Get through that sentence and then listen to what you just said and then just let me think. Do you hear yourself? Anyway, Naomi Violet said, Tisa, do your thing, girl. We need you to have your own talk show. You crack me up. Diddy King and the Dirt Bads. I ordered a hoodie, t-shirt, journal. You should add baseball caps to your collection. We'll definitely buy. I will add baseball caps. Thank you for that. I will. Also, Stacy Ballard said, You Rock T said, thank you so much for the super chat. And Naomi, thank you for the idea. I will add baseball caps. I'm waiting for my merch to come in now so I can start wearing up. Maya K, thank you so much for the super chat. And Leslie G said, keep doing, can't wait for my notebook. Oh, thank y'all so much for supporting, right? The whole thing is, people are saying that Diddy is the first to fall. That if Diddy goes down, a lot of icons are not just in hip hop, but in rock too. A lot of icons in the music industry are set to go down, and they're using Diddy as a test case. Okay? We're not just talking about rap. It's going to spread to rock, might even spread to country. I don't know what goes on in the country, but you know, I'm sure there's perverts everywhere. The whole point is a lot of these musical icons are going to go down. Now, why is Kanye sitting in the case for Diddy and showing his support? One, Kanye has turned, it's sad that somebody with so much talent has turned into nothing but a clout chaser that makes his wife walk across the screen naked because that's the only time he can get attention. It's sad. One. But two, think about it. Kanye has his own Diddy-like civil cases. He has his own Diddy-like civil cases. And you would think that if he has his own Diddy-like civil cases, Diddy at one time only had civil cases, and now Diddy has criminal. Maybe Kanye is trying to stop the dam because he heard the memo that if Diddy goes down, there might be criminal case filed against Kanye. Kanye has very Diddy-like cases into very dirty things, and all it takes is for Bianca to be like, no, I didn't want it, for him to go down. Or Bianca can be his to say Maxwell. There is one case where one of the employees said that it was sexual harassment even working for them because Bianca would run around and be like, how do you feel like Hitler? How do you feel like Hitler? Exactly. She's on board with all his stuff, right? But also, Kanye called all his friends into the conference room at the Yeezy headquarters, and Bianca and her friends came in, and Bianca and her friends gave all of those guys sloppy toppies. Why? Kanye watched. Again, is it not? Is it not? Is it not? It sounds a lot like. Now, we'll see whether people consented. We'll see whether they were rugged out of their minds. Maybe it is just like a freaky party. But the whole point of the matter that everybody is missing is Kanye got his own Diddy-like cases, if you know what I'm saying. Alexia, 138 said it's harder to make an
I'm sorry, y'all had to give me something to eat. And my likes are, all this time, I need 25 likes. Just like that. You can't be nice to moochers. Double tap your screen on your phone. Just like that. Just double tap your screen. Like, share, subscribe, join the membership. Hey, Macy, thank you for the flowers. Hi, hallelujah. 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 Y'all get the lights up. Double tap your screen. I was in there making me something to eat, and y'all just sitting in here Cadillacing, parlaying.
She started off the day, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right, but she's the summary witness. For those of you who don't know, yesterday what I was telling you guys about a summary witness, it's very, very amazing what the prosecution has done. Think about it like an Excel chart, and they're putting all of their evidence in this Excel
and I'm
chart
almost out of juice too.
Here's Cassie's text messages. Here's
Give me 10 more likes because I'm almost out of juice. I didn't realize that.
The jury gets together to deliberate. Everything will be super organized. So they bring in the person who made the chart to testify, and that's a way that they get in testimony. I told you guys yesterday, it was a smart and brilliant way to get information from KK without having KK even take the stand or have KK testify. Y'all know that KK is a co-conspirator, and if she takes the stand, like Brendan, they would
They
have
got
to
her
give
testimony
they got
anyway
enough
by her
information off of
records from her
which is
phone.
brilliant by the prosecution. However,
Hi, Raina.
the defense poked a lot of holes, and they had a
Come
win
on,
today.
get the lights
Yesterday was
up.
a
Double
huge
tap.
victory for the prosecution. Today, the defense
Hit the
had a
thumbs
huge,
up on
huge
your
win,
phone.
okay?
I mean,
So,
on your computer.
First, in the summary chart today, here is the win for the prosecution. So more summary chart. They showed payments for hotels. They showed payments from Bad Boy Entertainment, Sean John Global, and more from companies. Again, paying off for freak offs, hotels, drinks, etc. You're not supposed to be using your business money for pleasure. That goes under the RICO Act.
Yep.
KK's card and Diddy cards were paying for things for freak offs. Again, that goes under RICO. They paid for damage to drapes and carpets through Bad Boy. Deep cleaning and linen in hotels. If Diddy wants to try to say, oh yeah, we were going to hotels, but we were doing business meetings there, so I can pay for that from Bad Boy. Well, no, sir. Why do you have to clean the floors? Why do you have to clean the drapes? What's going on in there? You guys having business meetings, and what's going on? No, we know it's Big Wheel and Astroglide, sir. All right.
And a little nut.
Invoice under Frank Black. We know that is Diddy's code name.
A little nutty juice.
There was one damage to a hotel, the Intercontinental. $48,000. That was a huge freak off. Trust me.
I wonder it was the hotel.
That the damage to that
and for the what is it called, money grab, because he messed up their hotel room.
RICO. For y'all who say that RICO has not been proven, it was proven a lot yesterday and a lot this morning. Okay. I have a quick little note here. There's one of the juries that were falling asleep. Again, like I said, I'd like to give you insight. These charts and data and all these numbers and stuff, it is a little bit taxing.
I need 9 likes. I'm finna shut it down.
They lost a couple of jurors, but if you really zoned in on it, it was actually really, really smart for them to do, okay?
I'm finna shut it down.
Like I said, there's not only invoices in these summary charts, there's also text messages. So they were able to bring back up Cassie's text messages. Like I said, it's a way, these summary charts is a way for them to close their case, but just remind the jury about everything. So, hey, before you go deliberate, we just want to go through the summary of everything. And a couple of the summaries, they included Cassie having bruising, Cassie having a black eye. There's a text message from Cassie saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like doing these freak offs. Remember the CNN tape where Diddy was texting her after saying, I'm getting her.
So are we done for the day, y'all? I'll be back later, I guess. Y'all coming in, but you're not hitting the double tap your screen or hit the thumbs up or the like button on your computer or your tablet, whatever. Come on, you be close. Come on. 3 more. Let's go. Hi, Eric. One more. Come on, because I got a chart. Come on. Double tap the screen if you haven't already. I'm not going to even give you no music. Yeah, go ahead and leave if you can't tap the screen. Thank you.
Arrested, call me. I want to see you.
10%.
Where are you? They showed us the metadata with the text messages. So if some of you believe that during the testimony, Cassie's just saying that now, oh, she's making it up. Yes, blah, blah, blah. They showed us metadata and actual figures and downloads from the cell phone companies so that we actually have proof, okay? Now, Here is where the prosecution...
Then leave, John.
Huge
Get your ass up out of here. Absolutely.
The defense was able to cross-examine the person who put these
John.
together. Tenny Garagos did a
Jesse.
job. She was able to find a couple of mistakes.
And learn how to spell.
Like I always say, the only thing that you have to do as a defense attorney is show a reasonable doubt to the jury, and they have to find not guilty. Just a reasonable doubt. So they could work and spend a whole day with these summary charts and show videos and show receipts and show text messages. Tenny Garagos has to get, all she did today, get up and said, hey, you did a lot of work here. You have like 100 lines. Part of your job is to verify and make sure everything is accurate, right? This is an important trial. Yes. Okay. You've been working here how long? 10 years. Okay, cool. So there's no mistakes. Your job is to make sure there's no mistakes. That's correct. Well, I would like to bring your attention to line 52. Here's a mistake. You said that Sean was here and you showed a text message and you showed Cassie was here. Just want to let you know, Cassie was in South Africa at that time. Here is our evidence that she was in South Africa.
Participate in. I don't think so. I get your point, but I don't think so. There's some stuff that you're just like, women chose to sleep with escorts and get a train ran on them and not wear protection.
And be forced to take a day after pill.
I don't think
What is that called?
I get what you're saying, but you know,
the day after.
You see on OnlyFans, a lot of stuff you see on Pornhub. You realize this is why Andrew Tate got locked up. A lot of those stuff, even though it looks like the women are willing, they have pimps that make them pay them their money. They have people in the background telling them what to do. Just like people thought OnlyFans was money, there are groups of men that now have women, like they are workers, but they don't get their own money. They don't get their own money. They get paid just like somebody on the corner would get paid when people gives you like $10 and you've been working all day. We need to stop thinking because we see it on TV and it looks like it's consensual that it is. I think Pornhub just got a huge suit when they found out that a lot of their hardcore stuff were sex trafficking victims or people that were underage sex trafficking.
Yeah, a lot of that's going on. And y'all slow bunnies don't even know what's going on. Y'all just rah, ha, ha, and for somebody. And y'all have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes.
No, there is a
because y'all slow bunnies.
Industry, a sex trafficking industry, pushing it, driving it, getting that money. Look how much money was paid out on OnlyFans. Where are the women that have it? I'm not talking about a celebrity that has a page so they can show and find
absolutely.
Nudity. I mean the people doing hardcore
what's his name? On Love and Hip Hop.
Trafficking, and the pimps are now putting their
Bambi's ex-husband
direct deposit on the money instead of people having to hand over the $20 bills they get for turning tricks. That's all I'm saying, right?
Scrappy. Right? Scrappy Mama D was a female pimp.
Because he
Madam or something.
And my sources are saying that Diddy is a trial thing, and if Diddy goes down, a lot of music greats, and I'm not just talking about hip hop, I'm not just talking about R&B, because they try to act like that's the only fit with the industry. A lot of rock acts, country acts, the music
and John, is that his name? John, you be in my bushes and you be watching everything I say, and then you go on your platform and repeat every fucking thing I do.
I have them, but the transcripts are like
so you sit up, shut up.
Through them if y'all want. I do have the.
You repeat everything I do.
If we want, but maybe we'll do the transcripts when we do the deliberations, because I think deliberation is
guinea pig
for like a few days. We can start going through the transcripts, but I have the transcripts if y'all want to see, but they are.
And I don't buy bots, and I don't buy likes like y'all do. So you better go on before you get exposed.
To the transcripts too, but there's. Do y'all want to do that? Y'all gonna have to let me every night get
400 and 500.
Come out the day after. So the day after, I can pick up the transcripts for the day before, and we can go over them on YouTube if you guys want. I just didn't know.
I mean, repeat everything I do.
Transcripts have. I'm giving you guys like a highlight reel, but the transcripts have that. All right.
You're going to have a come to Jesus meeting if you keep messing with me. And then I'm going to report you for harassment.
At the end of the day, everybody's trying to save themselves. But it's very, very interesting and very, very insightful that all these friends that Diddy has, all this defense Diddy said he was going to mount, Mark Agnifilio stood up there and said they are going to rest their trial in a week. That means at the end of this week, the middle of this week, the government's resting. We have Juneteenth as a holiday. We only have a half day on Friday. All next week, Diddy will submit, and then the week after that, they're expected to rest their case. And y'all really somehow really think that Diddy thinks he's getting off? There's not a person in the world that when you're going against the government, the prosecutors, that you would in any way, and I mean any way, just give 1 week of defense and think you got it. It boggles the mind that people still think that this man, I don't see Rico. That's what you see? I don't see this and that. No. At the end of the day, Diddy doesn't have any defense. He doesn't have anybody that will come and speak on his behalf. He doesn't have any way to push back on 90% of the assertions. So all you can do is make the government look like liars, rest your defense early, and hope you get out. Now, will Diddy testify? Who knows? Will he have Kanye sitting there all week? Why would you have Kanye sitting there? I guess you're trying to woo the jury. I guess you're trying to like starstruck the jury, but that's the best you can do. Mr. Wackadoodle in Chief, Rocky Mountain 100 said, Susan in Dallas, what's up? You said we need to bring Tisa to Texas. Absolutely love your coverage. Absolutely love your coverage. Thank you so much. I would love to come to Texas. Antigona, word, yes, let's do Texas. I do Crime Channel, or what I might do is try. They made the strategic decision not to have them on the witness stand. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't mean they weren't telling the truth. It doesn't mean that the prosecution didn't have them on the witness list. It means the prosecution made a strategic decision not to use them. And I think that was actually pretty smart, because think about it. If you have them on the stand, Diddy's going to turn it into a spectacle and a circus and this and that and playing clips, and that's what he wants. He's a chaos demon. He wants the chaos. However, Gene Dill said what he said, and it's out there in the universe. Little Rod did what he did in his lawsuit.
Hi, Marsha.
In the universe. Ali Carter said what she said. So it's almost like the people have heard.
Okay, y'all, I need to.
But they haven't had. Right?
Y'all not getting my likes up.
They've heard the testimony, but
and I'm not gonna ask you anymore
to turn it into a circus. And get this, right? Get this. For people say,
I am not going to ask you anymore.
It just means it's strategic. You have to be strategic, right? Chow Young Cat said, if you declare